There are moments in ancient stories where the veil between the physical and the spiritual becomes then moments where a dream is not just a dream, and a symbol is not just a symbol. The story of Jacob's ladder is one of those moments. But what if the ladder he saw was not simply a divine staircase floating in the open sky? What if what he saw was a revelation of the human body or body?
Ho, ho, ho!
What if the angels moving up and down were not distant heavenly beings, but inner messengers, traveling the pathways of your own consciousness? Tonight, we take a slow, deep journey and extended narrative exploration into Jacob's vision as both a spiritual event and a profound map of human anatomy, inner awakening, and divine encounter. Settle in. This takes time. About 15 minutes of unfolding, stepping, climbing rung by rung.
Ho, ho, ho!
Night had swallowed the wilderness. Jacob, alone and weary from fleeing his brother Esau, reached a place where nothing seemed significant, just dust, shadows, and a cold stone he dragged beneath his head. The world was silent, the stars looked indifferent, and Jacob, uncertain of his future, sank into sleep. But sometimes, the deepest revelations are born from the hardest pillows.
Ho, ho, ho!
As Jacob drifted into dream, the earth beneath him dissolved, and the sky above him opened, suddenly rising out of the very ground at his side. A towering ladder stretched upward, its base planted in the soil, its top disappearing into the brilliance of heaven. It wasn't rickety wood, it wasn't rope, it was alive, pulsing, structured, grand, a living pillar bridging the worlds.
Ho, ho, ho!
And Jacob saw figures, angels ascending and descending, like flowing streams of light traveling up and down the luminous structure. Their movement was rhythmic, purposeful, almost like the inhale and exhale of a cosmic breath. At the very top, above the summit of the ladder, a presence shone, a voice thundered yet whispered, speaking to him of the promise, the covenant, the future that stretched beyond fear or uncertainty.
Ho, ho, ho!
But here is where the ancient tale deepens. Here is where symbolic language becomes the key to unlock something hidden. That ladder, standing firm on earth yet reaching heaven, mirrors the human spinal column, your own inner axis. And the heavens where God spoke, they reflect the highest activity of the human mind, the world of consciousness, imagination, intuition, and spirit. Jacob was not just seeing a ladder. He was seeing a revelation of himself.
Ho, ho, ho!
The human spine, 33 vertebrae stacked like mystical rungs, holds the structural core of the body. It is the beam that lets humanity stand upright, gaze upward, and dream higher than instinct. Mystics from many cultures have described it as the pillar of light, the world tree, the path of ascent, the highway of divine communication. Jacob didn't know these terms, but he saw the truth behind them.
Ho, ho, ho!
The angels in his dream were not merely winged beings. They represented energies, thoughts, impulses, spiritual messages rising and falling within the inner human world. Just like neural signals traveling up and down the spinal cord, they moved between the human and the divine, the earthly and the heavenly, the physical and the spiritual.
Ho, ho, ho!
And as that ladder reached up toward heaven, it touched a place that corresponds to the human brain, the seat of awareness, morality, imagination, vision, and communion with the divine. When God spoke from the top of the ladder, it symbolized the highest revelation that human consciousness can receive. The voice from heaven mirrors the voice of the inner spirit, the higher self, the divine spark at the peak of mental and spiritual capacity.
Ho, ho, ho!
Jacob was being shown. The meeting point between God and humanity is not far away. It is within the structure of the human being. Jacob's story here becomes a universal human story. For every person, there is a ladder within the self. The lower rungs represent our physical instincts. The middle rungs represent our emotions and intellect.
Ho, ho, ho!
The higher rungs represent insight, intuition, and spiritual awareness. And the summit represents the encounter with the divine. This internal ascent requires courage, reflection, humility, and openness, qualities Jacob would only develop in the years ahead. Notice something subtle and profound in the story. The angels ascended first, then descended symbolically. This means transformation begins from within.
Ho, ho, ho!
Before divine help descends, the human spirit must first rise through questioning, searching, desiring, and striving. Jacob's moment of crisis, being alone, vulnerable, opened him to his inner ladder. The ancient world taught a powerful belief that the human being is a microcosm of the universe, a miniature cosmos. In that worldview, the spine is the axis of the world, the head is the heaven, and the lower body is the earth.
Ho, ho, ho!
And consciousness is the bridge between them. Jacob's ladder fits perfectly into this mystical architecture. It is a reminder that humans stand at the intersection of two realms, the physical and the spiritual. Two currents flow in us, impulses rising from the body, and inspiration descending from above. And the ladder, your inner vertical channel, is where they meet, a living Bethel, a house of God.
Ho, ho, ho!
Jacob awoke startled, breathless, shaken by the depth of what he experienced. The sun had not yet risen, but something within him had. He whispered, trembling, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." But the place was not only the ground beneath him. It was the inner place, the human form as divine architecture. He had found the temple within.
Ho, ho, ho!
He took the stone that cradled his head, a symbol of grounding the mind, and set it upright as a pillar, as though marking the alignment of his own body, earth below, heaven above, and spirit in between. And he named the place Bethel, the house of God. Not just an external location, but a revelation of the human condition, a realization that the divine dwells in the structure of every human being.
Ho, ho, ho!
Jacob's ladder is not merely a relic of ancient sacred text. It is a mirror held before every human soul, inviting us to recognize the profound architecture within us. A ladder spans your being from instinct to intellect, from emotion to insight, from earth to heaven. Your own consciousness is the meeting point of the angels' ascending and descending movements, the place where heaven communicates with humanity.
Ho, ho, ho!
So take this story with you. Reflect on your own inner ladder. Climb it deliberately. Rise with intention. And let the divine voice meet you at the summit of your awareness. If you enjoyed this deep narrative journey and want more spiritual explorations like this, remember to like, share, and follow for future releases. Because, as you might have known, this is Real La Promo Spotlight, one story at a time.
Ho, ho, ho!